This is W.T. Edwards, Juvenile Detention Center. Y'all juveniles want to keep messing up? This is where y'all gonna be. And I got some stories for y'all. Just pulled up on the set, check it out. How many of y'all want to call this home sweet home? Look, y'all got the chrome trim for the house called barbed wire. The fence. Y'all wanted to bling. Well, y'all gonna be blinging, all right. What's going on, world? OG forgot. I'm up in Tampa Bay, and look at what I got behind me. Raymond James Stadium. That's where they play their football. But in the backyard of this stadium, I was at a place called W.T. Edwards, and I was also at the halfway house for juveniles that's literally across the street. How many of y'all juveniles want to be here? Surrounded by fence and barbed wires. And I do have a story about that place. I used to be called the Pink Pony back in the day. We'll talk about that later. I got quite a number of stories about this place. So, you juveniles, you do the crime, you got to do the time. I'm going to give y'all a funny story today, towards the end. But W.T. Edwards, man, in Tampa, or probably a lot of states too, man, Chicos and whites are the minorities. The black population is all up in there, and they're running things. But I was sent to a dorm, which was B2, because of my charges, man. If you want to fight, there's so many different things that happen in W.T. Edwards that you probably don't want to happen. Now, mind it, everybody got something to prove because we all jitterbugs. But I wanted to tell y'all, man, I ended up getting my lip split straight down the bottom to like down here, man. I can have my mouth closed. You can still see my teeth. And my mama Dukes came to visit me on the first visit, man. She started crying, and that ended up like she never really wanted to come visit me because she didn't want to see me like that. But, funny story, man. When you're in W.T. Edwards for long periods of time, you get used to their food. So it's going to be funny. I'm going to be vulnerable with y'all, so don't be... I'm just being truthful of what happened, man. So, I was in there like all summer, and then I ended up going to the halfway house in which I was allowed to go to Pierce Junior High when I was in 9th grade, and I was allowed to walk there from the halfway because I did good in the halfway house school. But with me being locked up most of that time, I ended up getting out, man, and when I was locked up, man, all I could think about was Taco Bell. So, I remember leaving there. One of my older homies came to pick me up, and, you know, Mama Dukes gave me some bread, and me and him went just ate Taco Bell. Boy, it was so good going down. I mean, I'm eating it with spicy, I'm eating it with hot sauce. And now that we ate, we're like, all right, cool, man. He hooked up for me to go visit some girls. We were going to meet them at Adventure Island. Except on the way. On the way to Adventure Island, man. Don't judge me. And I farted, man. And my boy is like, man, just roll the window down, it's all right. And I'm like, nah, bro. That hot sauce and all that Taco Bell did something to my stomach to where I Hershey squirted. It was embarrassing, and because we were already running late, this dude wanted to go meet those girls. And I'm like, nah, we ain't going to meet these girls, I promise you. No. And so he finally takes me home to go change, and then my aunt walks out and she wants to have a long conversation while I got this running down my leg, man. Don't get locked up. Don't do that taco smell thing. I'm just being vulnerable, man, because truth of the matter is you get used to their food. You come out and you start eating different stuff like normal people, like you think you're normal. It ain't normal, man. That's a funny story, though, man. It's always stayed in my head. But, you know, I was into W.T. Edwards in this halfway house because I had a lot of first-degree felonies. These days, like all those charges that I had, 93, 92, 91, 90, 89, 88. Like when I was a juvenile, man, I literally caught a lot of first-degree felonies, a lot of gun charges, possessions of weapons. Like I ended up getting a lot of things. If I would have been caught today, like I was back in the day, I would have been put away. Literally, like they ain't playing with these gun charges. They ain't playing with armed burglaries and all these thefts of firearms. Like I had a Mr. T starting kit, but I started becoming an arms dealer at such a young age, man. But having guns around was not smart, because then I started to use them, didn't have the right mind frame, didn't have the correct thinking. So pride and ego, with a lot of core beliefs that are very false. Today I would say don't carry that gun, because you're gonna get locked up. If you're gonna shoot a gun here in Florida, 10/20 life, you gonna get locked up for real. Pulling it out, then you fire it or you shoot at somebody, you going away, man. These days ain't like it was back in the days when I got arrested, because all these first-degree felonies that I had would have sent me to prison for the rest of my life these days. So I hope you juveniles think before you act, or anybody. You could be an adult. Think before you act. Pride and ego shouldn't have to lead you to boom, man, because that boom could be the last time you ever eat Taco Bell. Ha! Like I said before, man, I'm trying to reach out to certain people so maybe we can talk about certain things, so you hear my version and you hear their version and you put it together and you see the type of lifestyle that I lived. I no longer am driven by pride and ego. I am no longer impulsive. I no longer carry firearms. And I'm going to say, you ain't got to, man. If I'm able to change, you can change. I remember people telling me that back in the day. If I can do it, you can do it. Like, what the heck does that mean, man? How you know what I've been through? How do you know what I've gone, And truth of the matter is, I grew up in the projects of Houston, Texas. Then we came over to Tampa, and I literally started fighting, shooting, breaking, like doing all these crimes when I should have been enjoying my teenage years. But instead, I was locked up most of the time during W-2 errands. And like I said, I got out 14 days before my 18th birthday from Lancaster Correctional, man. Enjoy your youth. Enjoy the days that you have in school. Fall in love. Get educated. Go through the motions, because everything's going to be a stepping stone for who you are today. My path is different. I always had question marks on how is it I'm free or I'm alive. And I'm here to tell you, because I'm a chosen one. I literally went through what I went through for a reason. It didn't break me, but it made me. I was forged in fire. I climbed a lot of mountains that made my character how it is. And, and I'm thankful for everybody who has guided me, who has taught me a lesson for a reason for that season. God can do a lot of work for you. And like I said, man, I could tell stories to some people about my past and they believe it all day long. But once I start talking to them about spiritual warfare, demonic presence, the name of Jesus and God, like, oh, I don't believe in that. But yet you believe anything and everything I say about my past. So if I'm able to prove I'm that OG, I've been on trial for my life. I've beaten about around 16 charges in court, and without running my mouth, literally hiring high-priced lawyers. Like, I made a lot of money, man. We do the dividing and the multiplication. Man, it don't add up. Plus, I missed a lot of time with a lot of people who I wish I had more time with. I've had a lot of fallen soldiers fall, due to being in the life, doing the drugs. And, I have a lot more stories, and I just want to be positive for you. So if I'm telling you this world isn't about flesh and it's about demonic warfare, just be nice to people. Not everybody has to have a bad day. No one's wearing a sign saying, I'm having a bad day. I went through this, I went through that, I went through this, I went through that. You may not even know what's going through someone's mind. Just be kind, be nice, be understanding, be loving, be encouraging. But, much love to y'all, man. Let's check this out together, because this is a cool little sight to see. Check it. Come to Tampa Bay, visit. Tampa in the house. Bye.